Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Consummate Athlete Podcast. Peter, how you doing?
I'm doing medium. I guess I'm still sore. I had a big crash there about a week ago at Canadian Mountain Bike Nationals, which people are surprised they crash. It happens all the time. It's just this one was not quite as acrobatic and smooth as I often make it.
I don't know that you're ever that smooth, Glassford.
There's a range, I guess, right?
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, we'll probably end up doing an episode sort of about what to do, how to deal with having a race that didn't go your way. I know
we've probably done a few of those.
We've definitely done a few of those. That's life. That's bike racing. I think
cycle through these topics, I guess.
I think the words "that's bike racing" came out of my mouth probably like 200 times in the past week.
Yeah, trying to just explain it, right? Like, because it's no one likes to see anyone get hurt, right? But it's sort of the way of things. Especially, I've been saying, I'm still trying to race at the quote unquote elite level, so just the speeds are high, right? And you're really pushing it, right? Everything's at its limit. So if it's not perfect on that day,
yeah, and I mean you're doing that
go quite sideways,
and you're doing that against people who for whom full-time racing is their full-time job. And actually that's one of the topics that we got into on today's podcast. So today we have gravel racer, gravel organizer, and entrepreneurial badass Jess Cerra on the podcast. So she actually started as a professional road racer and has recently shifted into gravel. But I think what's super cool about her is her background is much more in sort of the economics, finance, business sort of side of things, in addition to being a personal chef. She took all of that and ended up creating Joje Bars, which, has kind of spiraled into doing all different things. But she was doing that while she was racing. And she's not the only female professional roadie that we've talked to who has sort of this background. I feel like if you actually calculated how many people in the women's peloton have advanced degrees, it's a shocking number.
Yeah, I think it's true of probably similar would be with picky bars, right? There's lots of examples of this, I think, in the elite females for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we had Kristen Faulkner, who was a venture capitalist on the podcast before, and she's a professional road racer. And yeah, a lot of them have a master's in engineering. There's obviously, we now all heard that the PhD in mathematics won the Olympics. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting thing, and we sort of talk about why that is, but not necessarily even a negative way, just in a way that.
Well, it's a way that is, right? But it does create a nice story. It creates, people who are interesting to talk to is the other thing, right? It's not that the specialist is bad, but like someone who's only ridden bikes their entire life, from birth is, there's only so much they can talk about often, right? They become very elite at a single pointy thing.
And I think that also her experiences make her much more accessible, or her advice much more accessible to people like you and me who have regular jobs. We work a lot of hours during the week. So has she her entire cycling career.
Yeah. How do you fit it in? So inventing things and learning to cook and also learning to ride a bike and ride a bike well.
I'm a little obsessed with her quadrant idea. We'll get into that at the end. I don't want to
productivity solution.
Yeah, and I love a productivity solution. It's my favorite thing.
Okay.
No spoilers though. But also before we dive in, we are doing a giveaway with her. So if you want to win 2 boxes of Joje Bars in the flavor of your choice and 2 boxes of salt sticks, her other product that she's working on right now, all you have to do is share the Instagram post for this podcast. And we always put up a little video clip. We also put up a quote. So you can share either of those this week, just in your stories, and make sure you tag us at Consummate Athlete and tag her at Jess Cerra. That's JessCerra. And give her a follow, because you can follow along with all of the really cool stuff that she's up to as well. But yeah, do that. And one lucky person is going to get a pretty sweet giveaway package. So yeah, without further ado, should we dive into this episode?
That's great.
All right. Enjoy this episode with Jess Cerra, and head over to consummateathlete.com to grab all the show notes and all that fun stuff.